Back in 1981, the economy was really bad, and a group of people got together and had a meeting and talked about the fact that a lot of food was going to waste, while at the same time there were lots of people who were struggling to make ends meet and were going without food. So they determined to explore and start a food bank. And it began in a 2-car garage and quickly grew to needing a larger space. The pounds of food moved in 1981 was about 26,000 pounds of food, and this year we'll move 4 million pounds of food. Initially, all of the employees were volunteers, and they did not have a fleet of vehicles. They just used pickup trucks and cars that belonged to the volunteers.
There are 9 food banks in the state of Indiana that serve the different counties within the state, and we exist as the gathering site for all of these food resources. Because an individual agency, say for example, like a Salvation Army, couldn't handle a whole pallet of food. They wouldn't have the room for it in their facility or the equipment to move it around. And by us being that person, that organization in this chain, we are able to do the warehousing part of this and the distribution part of this.
A food pantry is a place where a needy individual or family can go and walk away with a bag full of food that's been donated to them. And the food bank is a place that gathers surplus food and also donated food and also manufacturing overruns into one central location and makes that available to agencies that serve the poor. In our case, we serve about 175 agencies in 16 counties that then directly give this food to people who are in need of it.
We can do things that all of the other organizations can't, so we're able to be that distribution hub that is so needed in the system. Food donations come in from a lot of different sources. Through our resources of Feeding America, we can also handle truckloads of food that come from food manufacturers. So those are donated to us through Feeding America. So we're able to take all of those things, work through them in our warehouse, and make them available to our agency shoppers.
Purdue Food Store supplies a lot of prepared food, so we get a lot through that way. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday pickups are Walmart's. Now that's a reclamation program also. So instead of Walmart discarding their meats past date or their baked goods, when they're close to date, if they freeze the meats, they're good indefinitely, so we use the meats.
We work with a very limited staff. We have between 7 and 8 full-time staff members and 3 to 4 part-time staff members. So we're really a very small staff for working with our 170 agencies and for the amount of food that we move. Traditionally, Food Finders estimates that we use between 14,000 and 15,000 volunteer hours a year. So there's a lot of different volunteer efforts, from the group that does a food drive through their church or school, to the people that actually come to the food bank and work each day in our sorting room, and maybe they sort food for us. They may do something else in the warehouse. They may mark boxes or mark baked goods or sort through cans. So we have those opportunities all the time. We also have opportunities that are for groups that come through and they can do a project for us, whether it's here at the food bank or out one of our events that are located outside.
I think that Food Finders is a really worthwhile cause because it does take food that might otherwise go wasted and reallocate those resources to people who need it. So it's really a win-win situation, and we are very fortunate to have support from our community and also from our national network of food banks. We're affiliated with Feeding America, and we are able to get even food from out of state and bring it in to serve hungry Hoosiers.
Food Finders is open from Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So we have someone here all day long to accept donations, so they can be dropped off here. Throughout the year, you can always check our website for different food drives that are going on that may be an easier drop off for you than to come all the way to the food bank. And by all means, you can drop food off then. A lot of times we have questions about what items would be appropriate for donation to the food bank. And I always like to share with people that Every family's different, and every family's likes and dislikes are different. So there's really nothing that could be considered a wrong donation. We really appreciate the diverse amount of items that we get, and the things that may be even unusual because they can, as a rule, be used. The thing that a lot of people don't consider is that household items such as paper plates, paper towels, toilet tissue, Kleenex, those are things that make make a house a home and make it easy for you to live in your home. And so those are really critical that we have those to share with our agencies.
Peanut butter, fruit, 100% juice, and dry pasta. We always have a shortage of those items. So if anybody wants to donate, those are some things you might think about.
Our needs can vary from different times of year, but more than not, all year long, we can use soups and stews, canned vegetables, canned fruit, anything that would be considered pantry staples. It's as though we can't get enough of those items, and we really depend on the donations to help supply those for families. Anything that's done on our behalf on the outside to raise awareness about issues of hunger or to help us get donations, that is a volunteer activity as well, and we're always grateful for those.